to our panel now. Jesse Weber is a NewsNation legal contributor and Law and Crime Network host. Claudia Colon is an attorney and jury consultant. And Derek Parker is a former New York City police officer, detective who headed up the special intelligence unit that focused on hip-hop crime. Great to have all of you here. Jesse, I want to start with you. The prosecution really came out of the gate with this very lurid testimony from this male sex worker who was paid to have sex repeatedly with Cassie Ventura. It was very explicit testimony, but also importantly, he said he witnessed Sean Combs being violent with Cassie Ventura in his presence.
It was brilliant to start this way. Why? A lot of people were saying Cassandra Ventura would be the first witness. You build up her credibility with other witnesses and other evidence before you call her to the stand. Remember when she filed her lawsuit back in November of 2023? Really wild allegations. A lot of people said, well, is she telling the truth or not? Hard to know. As soon as that video came out, and they started today with the 2016 video, it changed the whole game. Now, this is what's interesting about this case and the prosecution's perspective. They spent a lot of time today trying to convince the jury that this is a crime. This is not your standard garden variety sex trafficking or racketeering case. And because they spent so much time doing that, having the testimony of this man say, I saw him beat her, force her, direct her into these sex acts, it became so important to crystallize that for the jury on day one.
Yeah, Claudia, he really, this witness on the stand, it really set up a scenario where it didn't sound like she was a willing participant, where by the end of it, he was warning her, get away from him, you're in danger for your life. Where he thought his life was threatened, he said Sean Combs took a picture of his driver's license and kept it, and he thought that would be threatening to him. He said he was afraid for his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how the jurors react to what's happening. There's different things that are coming at play with this jury pool. It is a super diverse jury. That's a good thing for the defense. It's going to cause people to have diverse reactions to what they're seeing. So while it seems compelling to have that testimony, somebody saying that they feared for their own lives and that they warned the victim about their own life, we're going to have people who are going to still be looking for concrete evidence. They're going to want to see, okay, but what does the other side say?
Yeah.
They're going to be asking those questions because of their backgrounds and their experiences. And we can get into more of detail in that.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing, before I get to Derek, Jesse, the defense says, and made the argument over and over again, that, okay, what you're going to hear is kinky, it's weird, it's bizarre, you're not going to like it, you're not going to like him, but everybody involved was an adult and everybody involved consented.
That's the defense you go with, and they had to own up to a lot of what is bad evidence against them. But they're making the point, we're going to dissect every element of this. This is not racketeering. This is not sex trafficking. I will say, they may have a little difficulty arguing the transportation to engage in prostitution. The argument that I understood today was, I paid these workers, Combs paid these workers for their time and experience. I don't know about that one. I think that one's a little bit of a stretch, if you ask me. But saying this wasn't bribery, this wasn't kidnapping, they have alternative explanations. And saying Cassandra Ventura, who's the main witness, she called the sex workers, directed it, paid, dressed up, that's going to be very key to their defense, that it was all on her.
Derek, how big an issue when they make this argument that she was there willingly is this video from the Intercontinental Hotel that shows, Sean Combs has not disputed it's him on this video, that shows him beating and kicking and dragging her by the hair. She is trying to leave at that point, and he is preventing her.
Well, they're trying to establish his behavior. They're trying to show that he has a violent tendency towards Cassie, who's the main person of this whole thing. And he's trying to point that out, that this is a behavior he has. Now, just to point out, that license that he took a picture of, that's twofold. One is because he may take the picture of the license to see who the individual was, so in case they come at him or sue him or come back with some legal defense later on, he knows who it is. The second is probably to intimidate or to know who that person was. So there's a twofold with that license that you just spoke about.
And also, Derek, we had the former security guard at the hotel who testified that Combs tried to bribe him by offering him a big wad of cash. He turned down the money. He did testify that it wasn't clear if the bribe was implied or stated outright.
Right. He didn't, according to his testimony, he didn't say that. But then he left out who the 7-foot person was that drove her away and who the person in the room was. Who were those people? Who are those people that might have witnessed this?
Right.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.